Hello, everyone. This is Brandon Hay at HeyB3 on Twitter, back with What the Fantasy. And I just want to do a little video on Khalil Herbert and his film the last couple weeks, since it looks like Damian Williams might be out this week and Herbert might get the start against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Sometimes it's hard in the schedule to get time for me and Zares to do the film together. So I figured I would just do this one for this weekend. So as you can kind of see on the screen, I put the last couple of weeks since David Montgomery has been out. And 2 weeks ago against Las Vegas, you see that the Bears ran the ball quite a bit. So Damian Williams and Khalil Herbert got a lot of carries. Khalil Herbert got 18, while Damian Williams got 16 and got a couple touchdowns. And in Week 7 against Green Bay, there was a much more competitive game. And also the Packers with Aaron Rodgers had the lead mostly of the second, third, and fourth quarter. So they did not have the ball as much, and it was a pretty even in runs and passes. It's interesting with Damian Williams out, Khalil Herbert had pretty much all the carries with 19 for 97 and a touchdown, 3 targets for 2 catches for 15 yards. The second leading rusher that week was Justin Fields with 6 carries. And just before we get into the film of both of the last 2 games for Khalil Herbert, I just wanted to mention the passing work for Khalil Herbert. He didn't have a lot in college, but his last year when he was at Virginia Tech, he did have 10 receptions for 179. And you see at Virginia Tech, he had an uptick in attempts, but the yardage and the success in touchdowns was a lot greater. And in the last pod, we've talked about how we both like Khalil Herbert, and that I thought if Khalil Herbert had spent more time at a school like Virginia Tech, he would have gone higher in the draft. But I think he did land in a pretty favorable spot in Chicago. So now we'll go ahead and move on to the video of first the game against the Raiders. So we see on this first run, it's a run to the left. He has a nice burst, gets the outside, good blocking. In this one, he just follows his blocks very well. One thing I will say is he's very good in going north-south. He doesn't go laterally very much and has some good cutback plays, as will continue on. So they're in the shotgun a lot, and you can see he will either move from right to left or the middle. This is another good play where he just goes straight at the middle and he shows some of his power. See that there's some open lanes there for him, so he just cuts it right up the middle, and he gets some nice yardage for the Bears there. Here's another run where he runs up the middle and breaks a couple tackles, gets inside the 5. Another run, he isn't able to break all those tackles. The blocking kind of broke down there. And here's a run where he goes outside to the right, spins off of a tackle. And we'll kind of go back through that. As you can see, he has the outside lane there. So fairly good blocking by the Bears. And then as he hits contact, he spins out and gains 3 or 4 extra yards. And this is another play where he just runs up the middle, gets north and south, and just carries a defender a couple yards, gets some nice yardage. Another play where he steps up and kind of has a nice change of direction. As we'll go back, you see this, the blocking breaks down here. There's a couple defenders already there, so this probably should be a tackle for a loss. But as you see, kind of puts his foot in the ground and changes directions and gets a couple extra yards, almost getting a first down. This is another play where he avoids a couple guys, doesn't gain much yardage, but avoids a loss there. Another draw up here, just goes up the middle, not much, just a couple yards. And this one right here, see, he carries the one defender, and another defender has his ankles, but he is able to fight through that. We'll just kind of go back through this. As you can see, the blocking is pretty good on this run. And then as he enters, he cuts back. And then as you can see, he just carries and he's continually fighting for yards. Another run where he did not fight through there. He got tackled fairly easily. So there's some things he still needs to work on. Another run to the right, but decides to cut up the middle. And you see he drives his legs to end up getting the first down. Out to the left, he follows his blocks and shows a little bit of a burst to get a couple extra yards. This one, there's so much penetration into the backfield. There's three players right back there, but he is able to get back to the line of scrimmage. So that's one of the things that I like, that even when he's hit in the backfield, he's able to keep going and gain positive yards, or there's not very many yards for a loss. So now we'll move into the Packers game where he did get the start. So he got the majority of the carries in this game. So let's go ahead and get started on this one. So he goes to the left, fights through a couple tackles, kind of like what we've seen. He just is very good fighting through. This one, not much is there, but he does end up getting the first down on a short gain, just going north and south, like I said, and not wasting too much movement. In this one, this play coming up, nothing really happens. There's a mishandling of the snap, but Herbert is quick to jump on the ball and save the team turnover. So good awareness by him right there. And then here, he's going to get his first touchdown. Great blocking there, so he just has to follow through the lanes there, but does have a nice little cutback to get into in for the touchdown. So let's kind of rewind that. So everything looks blocked well here, but then the offensive lineman kind of gets pushed back, and the defensive lineman's there, and he has a nice change of direction and just pushes through for the end zone. So that is nice that he got his first touchdown there, and a lot of people that played him last week got a nice little game out of him fantasy-wise. So here's a nice play where he was going to the right, is able to cut back to the left, and show some of that speed and elusiveness. So let's just go back and watch this play again. Okay. So you'll see he goes to the outside, sees that there is not much out there, but sees that there is a major cutback to the left. So he stops and cuts back, and then kind of goes to the outside, shows the speed and burst for a long gain on that play. Another play where he goes straight up, makes a guy miss, gets a couple extra yards, 4th and 1. Not much, but he does get the first down. The Packers did a good job on containing him and not allowing him to break tackles when they had him in the backfield, unlike in the Raiders game. But he did have a lot of nice runs and was very close to breaking 100 yards in this game. Here he just goes straight, carries that defensive tackle for a couple yards, just for a little bit extra. So he's taken there and gets a couple extra yards, which is all what you want your running back to do. And on the draws, he is good with the hesitation and gets his extra yards. Here he's going to the outside and kind of cuts back to gain another yard. And this is a very nice run. We'll kind of go back through. So here he is about to get the ball. There's a nice little lane here and a couple blockers, and he's able to cut it back up the middle a little bit for a nice gain and for about 10 to 12 yards. So he has that nice burst, and he's able to get a couple extra yards after the tackle. Right here, he pushes the pile for a couple yards. And this right here, like I said, he did have some more receptions his last year at Virginia Tech. This isn't great technique, not the best placed pass, but he should catch this. And as you can see, there is a lot of room. So we'll kind of go that just to see that. It's just he leaks out just for a little bit. It's like a screen. He drops that. He really should catch that ball. And then this, he goes outside just for a yard or two. This is another pass. Nice catch. Guys out here. makes that guy miss and gets close to the first down. And here's another run to the outside. When he gets to the outside, he shows that burst to get the extra yards. He makes the guy miss in the hole to get an extra 3 yards. So we'll just show that again. It looks blocked pretty well. I think a lot of the times in these plays, you'll see the Bears block initially, but then there's a breakdown by one of the linemen that allows the Packers to get in there. And then Herbert does show some good ability to make that guy miss. So you'll see this defensive tackle is going to kind of come off this block and get to him, but he makes actually it's the defensive back. Let's go back. So the defensive back comes from the edge, so it looks like he's going to be tackled right there, but has a nice little sidestep and then goes forward for another couple yards. Not a huge play, but I think for running backs, it's definitely a good thing for them. And what coaches like is they get those extra 1 or 2 yards because the blocking's not always going to be great. You're not always going to be able to get huge gains. So here's another run. He comes through the middle and, kind of cuts it up for another couple extra yards, which I think is very good. He's a very good slashing running back in that way. Here's another. He goes up the middle. I would have liked to maybe seen him continue to the right side on this play. I think he could have broken it outside a little bit if he could have outran this defensive lineman here. Looks like it's blocked pretty well, but he just kind of goes straight. So he still has some things he definitely can work on, but I think there's some great signs for Herbert moving forward. Here's another nice cutback. This actually ended up getting called back for a hold, but still, I like how you see right here. There's a couple different lanes he can go. So he kind of starts out to the left, comes back to the middle, burst to get past. Like I said, it gets called back. And then here's another run. He goes straight. He's able to fight through the tackle for a couple yards to be able to get that first down inside the 5-yard line. And here's a nice little pass right here. A nice hesitation stop, cutting back against the grain to the left side, and gets a nice thing there. So that's kind of the breakdown for Khalil Herbert. I really like his game, and like I said, I was very high on him coming out of the draft. I think he did go to a pretty good place. I think with Damon Williams missing a couple of games, if Herbert can continue to perform this week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and show that, then he could help lock himself into that second running back role behind David Montgomery. And also, it's positive because Montgomery is still on that rookie contract. I think he still has 1 more year left. So eventually, based on how well he develops, he could make the Bears have a decision if they would re-sign Montgomery, or if they feel good enough with Khalil Herbert, they can move forward with him and then just get another rookie or another younger player to kind of complement him. So I think it will be very interesting how he plays this week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have struggled on defense some, but their rushing defense has been very good. And I would like to see him get more involved in the passing game. And I think that's a good young core right there with him and Justin Fields to kind of grow together. And once David Montgomery gets back, and if they can get Allen Robinson going, and I think that offense has signs. I think hopefully Nagy will get more comfortable with the younger players and let them have a bigger role. But so that's our breakdown of Khalil Herbert, and I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll catch you this week on What the Fantasy with both of us back together.